Everyone thought they knew Hazel, but no one suspected what she was capable of when it came to her family. Her name is Hazel. She owns a small restaurant where regular customers come every day, not only for the delicious food, but also for the owner herself, whom everyone knows and respects. But behind this quiet life lies a storm. Hazel has a 19-year-old daughter, Joy. She dreams of going to college and asks her mother for money, but is refused. Disappointed and hurt, Joy declares that she has no intention of staying in this town. At that moment, a stranger enters the restaurant, a man named Elliot. He has no money, he is hungry, and he looks as if he has been through something terrible. Joy is immediately wary, but Hazel, against all odds, decides to help. She gives him a job and even a place to stay. Meanwhile, Joy has a boyfriend, Travis. And it is he who turns Hazel's life into a nightmare. The girl comes home beaten, tries to justify him and calls it all an accident. But her mother sees the truth. Hazel is no longer willing to remain silent. She goes to the trailer, takes out a gun hidden under the bed, puts it in her pocket, and goes to Travis. She finds him in the garage with a friend and demands to talk to him alone. But Travis refuses. Then Hazel directly accuses him of raising his hand to her daughter. Travis tries to justify everything again. In response, Hazel hits him, takes out the gun, and forces him into the car. The frightened guy swears it was a mistake. But Hazel doesn't listen. She ties him up, gags him, and takes him to a grave she dug earlier. She tells him that she always knew this day would come, and that she never trusted him. Despite his pleas for mercy, Hazel pushes him into the hole and takes matters into her own hands. When she returns home, Joy asks where Travis is because he is not answering his phone. Hazel calmly says that he has left for another country. But her daughter does not believe her. Travis has a business, he would not just disappear like that. However, her mother insists, don't think about him. Think about the restaurant. It would seem that everything is behind them. But a strange man appears in the restaurant and starts taking pictures of Elliot. And at that moment it becomes clear that the real story is just beginning. Later, after the restaurant closes, Hazel decides to ask Elliot directly. She mentions that even her daughter suspects him of the worst. But Elliot simply denies all accusations and assures her that he has never hurt anyone. However, her doubts remain, especially after Hazel sees the man in the restaurant again. This time he drives away in his car, and Hazel decides to follow him. The trail leads her to a motel where she bursts into the stranger's room. There she learns the truth. The man is a journalist. He is conducting his own investigation and claims that Elliot was involved in the murder of his girlfriend. Moreover, he shows her evidence, articles, documents, and photographs. Elliot used to work as a heart surgeon, so the journalist finds it suspicious that he now has a simple, low-paying job. Hazel carefully studies the documents, but in the end she simply takes them and leaves. The next morning, the situation becomes more complicated. Joy is desperate. She is still waiting for news from her boyfriend Travis and cannot sit still. Hazel tries to calm her down, insisting that it is time to forget about him, but her daughter does not listen. Meanwhile, an unknown man enters the restaurant. He delivers a message. Their boss, named Vaughn, has just been released from prison and demands to meet with Hazel in Las Vegas. The woman agrees to go there that same evening. Before the trip, Hazel visits her mother. She is worried and suspects that Hazel may be involved in Travis' disappearance. But Hazel is confident in her choice. For her, there is only one guiding principle: her daughter's happiness and safety. Everything she does for Joy. Joy herself, however, does not share this conviction. She secretly steals her mother's keys and goes to her friends. There she tries to distract herself with drugs. But the evening ends differently. The police, who know Hazel well and often visit her restaurant, catch Joy and bring her back home. Left alone, Hazel returns to Elliot and decides to find out the truth. She asks him about his past, and he admits that he was once a successful heart surgeon. Hazel then shows him the folder with the documents she stole from the journalist and directly accuses him of murdering her friend. Elliot can no longer hide the truth about his life. But he insists on one thing: he was never a murderer. Elliot finally reveals his secret. He was drunk when he and his girlfriend were in an accident. She died, and he has never been able to forgive himself for this tragedy. Hazel listens to his confession but does not dwell on it. She tells Elliot that she is leaving for Las Vegas and entrusts him with the management of the restaurant. In Las Vegas, Hazel meets with Vaughn. He is happy to see her and immediately gets down to business. Vaughn demands that she do one last job, eliminate one person. Hazel initially refuses because she left her murderous activities in the past long ago. But Vaughn pressures her, saying that it will be the last time and that after that she will be able to live in peace. He gives her the money and Hazel reluctantly accepts the assignment. Her target is a man named Perry. However, after meeting him, Hazel cannot bring herself to finish the job. She returns to the restaurant depressed and lonely. Elliot is waiting for her there. The evening ends with dinner, alcohol, and intimacy between them. The next morning, Hazel entrusts the restaurant to Elliot again and heads back to Las Vegas. She meets Perry, who invites her to his home. She prepares a drink with poison for him, but everything changes when the man unexpectedly confesses his love to her. At that moment, Hazel realizes she is incapable of killing him. She gets rid of the poison and instead responds to his feelings with a kiss. Back home, Hazel is still unsure whether to carry out the assignment. But soon she receives a message from Perry. He is leaving in a few days. She is increasingly inclined to let him live. Meanwhile, Vaughn learns that Hazel did not kill Perry. He reveals that Elliot has been working for him all this time, watching Hazel and reporting her every move. The next day, a friend of Hazel's, a police officer, comes to the restaurant. He reports that several girls have recently gone missing in the area and asks if Hazel knows anything about it. She and Chef Javier deny any involvement. At this time, Joy notices Phil, a man from Vaughn's circle. Hazel notices this and asks her daughter to serve another table. Phil warns her that she has disobeyed Vaughn, and now he demands that she come to him immediately. Hazel promises to finish her business and come to him in the evening. When she leaves the restaurant, Elliot follows her. He senses that something is going on and demands an explanation. Hazel doesn't want to reveal any secrets, but Elliot insists, assuring her that everyone has secrets and shares his own. Giving in to the moment, Hazel admits that she needs to finish her remaining work in Vegas. Meanwhile, Perry is preparing dinner, waiting for Hazel. He tries his best, sets the table, lights the candles. But suddenly his wife comes home. Seeing the romantic setting, she decides that the dinner is for her. Perry instantly changes the script and says that yes, that's exactly what he had planned. And Hazel herself? She doesn't even think about going to Perry. Instead, she heads to Vaughn's office. At the entrance, she acts without hesitation. One person falls dead without even realizing what is happening. Vaughn sees everything on the cameras. Phil fires the first shot and immediately gets a bullet in return. This ends his career as the boss's right-hand man. In the end, only Hazel and Vaughn remain. He tries to negotiate, saying that everything can be resolved with words without bloodshed. But Hazel responds with action, a bullet to the shoulder, and Vaughn is on the floor. His attempts to elicit pity do not work. She reminds him that he was the one who pushed her into this world. And then comes the main revelation. Hazel calls him her father. Yes, the very man who controlled her life and ruined her destiny turned out to be her biological father. After this revelation, Hazel shoots him. After that, she calmly washes her hands as if she had just finished her shift in the kitchen and returns to her normal life. Morning. The restaurant is open again. Joy helps her mother and for the first time sincerely admits that all of Hazel's decisions were for her own good. The girl finally understands the price of her mother's sacrifice. Everything looks almost peaceful, almost. Travis, the guy Hazel spared, appears on the horizon. His return surprises Joy, but at the same time reassures her. It seems that life is back to normal. But the fairy tale collapses in an instant. Hazel notices that her loyal cook Javier is missing. She finds him in a bar, where several thugs are beating him half to death. Hazel intervenes, but is struck blow after blow. At the same time, the kidnappers grab Joy and take her away in a car. Hazel is seriously injured and losing strength. Everything around her begins to blur. At the last moment, Elliot runs up to her. He presses her to the ground, tries to stop the bleeding, and asks her to hang on. An ambulance is on its way. But Joy disappears into the hands of the kidnappers. That's where the story ends. Hazel is between life and death. Joy is in danger. Elliot has a secret that has yet to be revealed.